So our next guests this evening are gentlemen of considerable fortitude, if questionable judgment. They are four of the five members of Five in a Row, a team of oarsmen who are getting ready to cross the Atlantic and raise a great deal of money for Reverse Rett. Welcome, guys, from Five in a Row. Woo!
Hello.
Hi, guys. I'm so glad you can be here with us. This is a fantastic quest that you are on. How did you come up with this idea? Whose notion was this?
I think it's fair to
Clive,
say,
rumor
David,
has it this
that
was you.
we. No, no. I think it's fair to say we'd had a few refreshments one evening, and we were sifting through an online auction website to see if we could find a boat that we might buy to play around in. And one thing led to another, and all of a sudden, we were then rowing the Atlantic after many further refreshed conversations, but mixed in with a few sober ones with our families as well.
Very good. So it all started in a pub, as so many things do. Ian, I'm really curious. How do you guys know each other? How did this connection form?
Well, so we all are members of our local coastal rowing club. So we compete regularly. Not this year, unfortunately, but generally we go to regattas across Scotland and even some in Europe. And so we've rowed together for a long time. And certainly Dunk and Clive have been in the same crew as me for, I don't know, it feels like forever. Was it 4 or 5 years now? And then
Yeah.
Ross we've rowed with as well. Ross sort of joined the club. I should really have done my research on this. Maybe 3 years ago, Ross, was it? Or was it longer
Yeah,
than
it's
that?
about that. 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was,
Yeah.
when I started
And
up.
so we've all rowed together at various regattas. Our fifth member, Fraser, who's unfortunately not able to be here today, has, on the other side of things, has never been in a boat and has never rowed. And we're all very excited to see how that's going to go.
So you're taking a rookie across the Atlantic. Guys, this is amazing. I want to know, how long is this route? How long is it going to take? How are you going to do this? Duncan, tell us about it.
Right. Well, the course is from the Canary Islands to Antigua in the Caribbean. It's approximately 3,000 miles, assuming you go the correct way, and it's yeah. So you're on a there's a current goes from east to west, and we are going to be rowing across there, and it's the world record is 35 days. So our target is 34 and a half, but realistically, it can be anything from that to 40 odd days of rowing continuously, really unsupported, and yeah, night and day, 2 hours on, 2 hours off, taking it in shifts and just going for it.
2 hours on, 2 hours off for that entire journey. Now, that is impressive. And you're doing it all to raise money for Reverse Rett, because we have got a very close connection, of course, to Rett with Ross, who is the senior member of the team. Ross, tell us how you brought this team together to support Reverse Rett.
Well, my daughter Eliza has Rett syndrome, so the guys here have known my daughter for quite a number of years now, through me, and I was actually the fifth member to join the crew. These guys were already set to go and take part in the race, and they came to me one day and said, "We'd like to raise money for Reverse Rett as part of this," and then almost in the very next breath said, "Would you like to join the crew?" And straight away, it was just almost, yeah, my immediate feeling was, yeah, I want to be part of this. I want to get involved. I want to do what we can to raise money for Reverse Rett. And then I obviously had to take that reality check and go home, speak to my wife and say, is it okay to disappear for a couple of months to take part in this? And once she was on board as well, I was like, yeah, let's get on with it. Let's see what we can do for Reverse Rett.
Is she on board
This
as
is
well?
amazing. How's the fundraising going so far, and what's your target?
So we've raised just over 30,000, I think it is, in total at the moment. And our target to get to the start line will be about 110,000. And once we then successfully make it to Antigua after a large glass of rum, we'll have the boat back in the UK again and selling it off, and all of the proceeds from the boat sale will go directly to Reverse Rett, as well as fundraisers that we organise, hopefully along the way, to raise awareness of the charity.
That is fantastic. You guys are doing amazing work. I got to know, how do you train for a race like this? How does one prepare to do this kind of challenge? Ian, tell us about it.
Well, it's an interesting one because obviously when you first explain what you're doing, going across the Atlantic, and it's this big, apparently physical effort. From the people we've talked to that have done things like this before, really the physical side of training is one thing, but it's quite a small part. It's the mental side, trying to make sure that we're not going to, murder each other at sea or jump off the boat never to be seen again. Because it's going to be testing, and it's the sort of sleep deprivation we're going to experience with the shift pattern is going to make us pretty frosty with each other, I think, at times. In terms of the physical training, we need to do, as I say, we're part of a rowing club anyway, and most of us have our own rowing machines, our ergos. So we will be doing long ergo pieces, and we did some at the start of lockdown. We did some marathons and things. But there's only so much of that you can do a year out. We want to be focusing on that a wee bit closer to the actual start date. But things like weightlifting and core workouts, just to try and stop yourself getting injured, is really the important thing to do.
Fantastic. So guys, one last question for you. Next year, you'll be getting ready to get on the water. How are you going to celebrate Christmas? Where will you be?
Well,
so this Christmas next year will be spent on the boat. How it'll be celebrated, I think some of the other teams have sprung open a fresh can of pineapple in the past, because apparently some fresh fruit, or somewhat fresh, is a real joy. I'm not sure how we're going to see it through, though. We haven't discussed that yet, fellas. What do you think?
I think if we
Whiskey.
celebrate by doing 2 hours of rowing and 2 hours of sleeping, on and off for the whole day, it might be quite a nice way to celebrate.
That is a fantastic commitment. I wish you every success. We are so grateful for what you're doing for Reverse Rett, and stay safe, work hard. Guys, I got to say, if you can do all of this, I am sure that our viewers can pick up their phones right now and send a text to make a donation to support Reverse Rett. That's a lot easier than a year's worth of training and then 3 weeks of nonstop rowing. So pick up the phones, make that donation. Let's see if we can match what these guys are doing for Reverse Rett. Thanks, guys. 5 in a row, everybody.
Bye.